Ladies and gentlemen, we give you the Ferrari F80.
Hello and welcome to a brand new episode of InstacarHK. Today I am in Bangkok, Thailand for this weekend's Universo Ferrari event. Now what it is every year Ferrari will pick a country outside of Italy to host a huge event with a big car display showing their new road-going cars, showing their special race cars, classiche cars, etc. And for Ferrari clients and VIPs, before the weekend, they will have a gala dinner for the opening and whatnot. And this year, they have chosen Bangkok to host Universo Ferrari. Now, I think last year they were in Korea, and my friend who went showed me all these pictures of these pretty crazy cars that they brought over. They brought over like the Enzo prototype car, MC12 prototype car, all these stuff. So hopefully, Ferrari Maranello will have arranged something just as special for this year's Universo Ferrari at Bangkok. Now, we're here a day earlier just to chill. So right now, before all the Ferrari stuff, I'm gonna go grab some much needed lunch and hopefully a massage in the afternoon. And yeah, I'll bring you guys along the trip and you can see how my Universo Ferrari weekend goes. Nice 124T. So we're finally at the Universo Ferrari at Bangkok, the start of the event. You see me all dressed up for the first time on InstacarHK because tonight is also the opening gala dinner for Ferrari guests. This is the beginning of the exhibit. You see this really cool display. Red pillar lights all over with interviews of different Ferrari staff, from F1 drivers to factory workers. And then once you walk in, they had the launch of the all-new Ferrari F80, which I'll bring you in to take a look. Still quite a lot of people around it, but hopefully it died down a bit and we can do a proper walk around. This is the F80, which by now everyone's pretty familiar with, but today is the launch here at Universo Ferrari. It's certainly my first time seeing it in the flesh. Still quite a bit of people around taking pictures and whatnot, so I don't want to go too close here, but I will take some close-up shots later so I can put it on the film. But as you can see here, as you expect, huge presence, being one of the Ferrari hypercars. Used to be the Big 5, now it's the Big 6. This comes after, of course, the LaFerrari. Looking at it, it has the new Ferrari design DNA. Some people don't like the front black strip, which we first saw in the 12 Chillindry, but I always didn't mind that. I thought it was okay. But to be honest, when the car first came out, I wasn't much of a fan on pictures because it looks so too boxy. It looks like a matchbox without much lines and design. But once I saw more footages of the car, especially on the track, especially with the rear wing up, I think it actually looks pretty good. And the whole boxiness of it, the whole angular design, does somewhat remind me of the F40. There seems to be less people now, so let's take a closer look. Now this, of course, has the new Ferrari V6 twin-turbo engine. It's different from the SF90 or the 296 GTB, so it's a whole new engine unit. Of course, in the press, online, some people criticize it for being, oh, it's a V6, it's not a real super Ferrari. But just now, the representative from Ferrari explained that the super Ferrari line always followed the best at the time technology of Ferrari, so which of course was always derived from the Formula 1 race technology. The F50, for example, had the F1 engine, V12 naturally aspirated F1 engine. So this naturally should have a V6 twin turbo, which is similar to the Formula 1 engine that it has now, as well as the, of course, extremely successful 499P. So let's take a closer look. With these doors similar to the LaFerrari. I actually quite like the wheels. I like the two-tone silver and black design. But again, lots of presence. Looking at it, there's the new Ferrari interior design, even more touchscreen. Very compact interior, but surprisingly, it looks more comfortable than I thought. And it looks quite nicely decked out. But you see a two-tone seat design, one red, one black. That's quite cool. And the back, this is the rear wing I'm talking about. The whole thing comes up at speed. Now, engine we talked about is a V6 twin turbo. Ferrari said it's actually a total of 1,200 horsepower. The engine, the internal combustion engine itself has 900, but the electric motor, this is a hybrid car, the electric motor gives another 300 horsepower, giving a total of 1,200 horsepower. And unlike the new hybrid drive, there's also drive at the front, so this is actually a four-wheel drive car with obviously super sophisticated and high-tech steering and handling system. So the second part of the exhibit, there's some memorabilia here, some F1 parts, including this 2014 F14T wheel, some trophies. And here we have a F2000 Formula One car driven by Michael Schumacher. The F2000 is of course the car that won both the Drivers' Championship and the Constructor Championship. Very iconic and important Formula One car in the Ferrari history. Right, so right here we have the 296 GT3 race car. The GT3 is of course part of the GT series, which the one just raced in the Macau Grand Prix last weekend. Didn't really have the results we wanted, although there was some spectacular overtaking, but this is pretty much the same car. This particular car is the customer car, Ferrari customer car, and the owner is actually the owner of Singer Beer, so quite a big customer. And the fun thing about this particular display, aside from the very cool car, is of course the floor that I'm walking on. This is actually a smart interactive floor where as I walk it traces me, and there are certain tokens that you step on like this, and then information will pop up on the screen to tell you more about this car. So this was at the 24 Hours Daytona in 2024 example. So next to me is a good friend of mine, Filippo Zanier. And Filippo is not just some random Italian with a Ferrari badge on his suit that I picked. He's actually quite a special someone. He's going to talk with us about some of the cars here. So Filippo, can you please introduce yourself a bit? Who are you? What do you do in Ferrari?
Well, I am, first of all, hi. Very good to see you again.
Good to see you again.
And I am in charge of business development for Ferrari Challenge, but worldwide, but with a special focus on the Asia-Pacific area, the region.
Yes, Filippo actually used to be based in Asia. That's how we met.
Yeah, I used to
back
be
in Maranello
based in Hong Kong. Now I'm back in Maranello.
But traveling non-stop.
And yes, flying a lot around the world.
So we have two very special race cars next to us. Why don't we start with the top dog first? So Filippo, tell me, this is what is this? What are we looking at?
Well, this is a 499P number 50. So basically, the car that won the last 24-hour of Le Mans race. As you all know, I think Ferrari came back to the top class of endurance racing in 2023 after 50 years. It was 1973 the last time that Ferrari had raced in Le Mans, challenging for the overall win, not only in the GT class. So in 2023, we came back, and it was a winning comeback immediately.
Like you guys didn't
first year in a row, outright, and we managed to win the race. And they say that the most difficult thing in racing is to repeat yourself, and we managed actually. So the factory team managed to win the 2024 24-hour of Le Mans again. So an incredible testament to the technical prowess of the brand. And then on the right we have 296 Challenge, and 296 Challenge is another success story because it's the 7th generation of Challenge car. Yeah, we started with 355, and then we did all the V8
Was it 348?
348, sorry, my bad. Thank you for correcting me. Very good.
I'm a big fan.
348 was the first one, and then we did all the V8 Berlinettas. So obviously 355, 360, 430, 458, 488, and then generation number 7, 296. And with 296 we switch from 8-cylinder
Yeah.
to 6 cylinders without actually losing any power. We actually gained 20 horsepower compared to the
turbos
488
and whatnot,
Challenge Evo. But the most amazing feat of this car is the dynamics of the car.
Right.
Not only the engine, but the way the car drives, the way the car behaves, how friendly the car is to allow the gentleman drivers that are the focus of Ferrari Challenge to be able to extract the maximum performance out of the car. Some gentlemen this year racing with us in Challenge Europe have been 3.54 seconds faster per lap, compared to the 488 Challenge.
So this one is like your baby, because this is the project you are most hands-on with, right?
It is, yes. We are together with the Challenge team in Maranello. We are working out on developing more and more countries.
Right.
So we have Europe and North America from actually 32 years.
Yeah.
The championship that is now Ferrari Challenge Europe has been running 32 years. North America 31.
31, okay, wow.
But then, since a few years, we added many more. So we had Challenge UK that was launched. 2 years ago, we launched Challenge Japan, that is already very healthy with more than 30 cars on the grid. And in the last weekend of January 2025, we are going to start a Challenge Australasia with the 12 hour of Bathurst, where we will run with as a support race.
That'll be fun, 12 hours of Bathurst. Guys, you heard it from the man himself. If you're interested, you know who to find. Thank you so much, Filippo. Great event, and I wish you every success with the racing going on.
Thank you very much.
Cheers. Thank you. Now, behind me, you see a LaFerrari and a 488, but these two are actually very, very special cars because they are the testing and development cars from Ferrari Maranello. So they've actually shipped out from Ferrari just for this event. And you can tell they're different because like the LaFerrari here, you can see all these odd clips and whatnot. The interior, they have all these different buttons and engine kill switch. It's particularly with this LaFerrari, there's an extra set of exhaust. So it's not your usual, I mean, any LaFerraris are special, but this being the development and testing car of Ferrari Maranello makes it extra special. Now this one looks like just a normal 488 test car, but it's not, because I was looking at the engine bay just now when the bonnet was open, and the engine looked quite off. It did not look like your usual Ferrari V8. In fact, it looked like the new V12 engines, because this is actually the SP3 test car. So it is a test mule with a 488 exterior, but it's actually the test mule of the SP3, which is of course the iconic series of the Ferrari, which we also have one over there in red. Pretty cool car. We saw it in the Hong Kong 40th anniversary last year at Repulse Bay. Good to see one again. But I mean, the SP3 Daytona is obviously a very special car, but in the presence of all these cool and special Ferrari models we have here today, this is still special, but definitely not my highlight. Now here we have the SF90XX. This is actually the first time I'm seeing it in the metal, and it looks really, really nice. I was never a fan of the ordinary SF90, but the XX I really think is something else. I mean, look at that, you know, with the very aggressive front spoiler, F1-like intake, very aggressive big rear wing. I think for those who can afford it but were unable to get a quota for the F80, I think this is a pretty good alternative. Beautiful car, just looks really spot on with the looks. I really like this one. So we're almost coming towards the end of the exhibit. There are some more models here. The Puro Sangue, of course, we've seen a lot. A very nice 812 Competizione A, so this is the open top version. Personally, I'm a fan of the F12 TDF, but the Competizione continues the really aggressive looks and beautiful lines of the V12 model, obviously. Quickly here, there are two 12 cylindries, which I'm not going to go into detail with because we've done a proper episode of the hardtop one when it was launched in Hong Kong. But this is my first time seeing the Spider version, and as I had anticipated and mentioned in my last episode, it looks so much better. Like the Spider version with these two arches here, with in the middle having a lower line, looks so much better, I think, compared to the hard top. So this is the final part of the exhibit, and of course my favorite, the classiche Ferraris. And no less with my ultimate dream car, the Ferrari F50. You all know I love the F50. Very rare car, 347 ever produced. Now this is actually a local car, so it's a Thai client, I'm sure. Very special car. I always love seeing the F50. To be honest, I much prefer this over the F80, but that's just me. And finally, the final car, which is the highlight of the show, the best Ferrari ever made, is this one. The 308 GTB. Now I joke being the highlight of the show because I personally have a 308 GTB, but nonetheless very happy to see it, one of these in this show, which shows how important the 308 model is. I'm not going to go into details. I've done episodes on the 308 before, but this should be another local Thai car. This is an injection version actually, so unlike mine, it's not the carbureted model. It looks nice, color-coded top wing, but this is an I, so it's not the Quattro Valvoli version. So yeah, that's it guys. This is the Universo Ferrari Bangkok edition. This is the 4th time ever that Ferrari has done the Universo Ferrari. They did it in Australia once, they did it in Korea. I forgot the 3rd one, but in any event, very special event. I'm very happy to be here. I thank Blackbird Ferrari for having me here. And I also have to thank Mrs. InstacarHK, who is with me on this trip and actually the camera woman of this show. And why I have to particularly thank her again this time is because I got to show you this. Because tonight is the gala dinner, as I explained. So we're actually dressed formally. Now, Mrs. InstacarHK are actually in pretty high heels to film for me, walking around this exhibit like a mad woman, holding the camera. So thank you for that. If you enjoyed this episode, please give us a like, please subscribe. Please remember to click the bell button next to the subscribe button so you know when our next episode is. Thank you and have a good day.
Travelled on to Malaysia, onto Port Kinabalu and up into the capital city of Bangkok right here. Over 2,500 kilometers was driven by the